Hey everybody, it is inevitable. I go to YouTube, start scrolling, somewhere in the first few screens, there it is. Check out my latest art supply haul. I just can't help but cringe. I know these videos are popular and that's why there's so many of them. Yet, I feel like they project the wrong message and ultimately can send artists and art students in the wrong direction. I feel like there needs to be a rebuttal to the art supply haul video. So let's talk. I am Mark, and this is We Talk Art. First, I have to admit, I have a lot of art supplies. You might even consider them a haul. In my defense, with this channel and having owned an art supply store, to some degree, it was my job to know, try, and be able to talk about all these products. And that is my excuse, and I'm sticking with it. I feel like a lot of artists, including me, love the freedom to jump from project to project and have all the tools and materials at our fingertips. So I'm not trying to point fingers, just give you some food for thought. I'm also not trying to tell you that those art supply videos, art supply haul videos, are a bad thing, just putting some perspective on them. Regardless, I feel like there is an argument for less. I'm not talking about the minimalist approach, although I do know that works for some. I'm more talking about finding balance for you. And the word haul always kind of jars me out of that balance point. It kind of feels like consumption for consumption's sake. As far as the art haul video for information and learning, I'm usually searching for more in-depth look into the art supplies than, hey, look at the stuff I just bought kind of video. You know, I don't mean to get down on those YouTubers that do these, just that I think, as I said, there needs to be another dialogue too. So here's my thoughts that might help you find that balance when it comes to art supplies. A few things to keep in mind about art supplies, at least for me. Good art supplies are not cheap. It's easy to fit several $100s of art supplies into a really small bag. As the Grail Knight said, choose wisely. In finance, there's a concept called opportunity cost. The way this can pan out with art supplies is, let's say you go to your local art supply store at the beginning of the month and you blow your whole budget on an art supply haul. Lots of bright, shiny art supplies that catch your eye and attention, and you go home all excited to play with them. And then a few days later, a mentor, teacher, friend, YouTuber tells you about this tool that you actually really could use and you need, but you've already blown your budget, so you can't buy it or you have to wait. This is the opportunity cost of spending money without a plan. You should also keep in mind that many art supplies and even tools don't last forever. I can't tell you how many times I've gone to get some art material that I picked up in a previous art supply haul trip, only to find that the product is dried up, separated out, or it's just not working the way it should because it's old. To repeat what my wife is often telling me, don't buy it till you need it. Furthermore, if you do not have an infinite supply of money, I don't, you will probably want to get the most value out of the products that you do buy. That means using them and using them to make art. If you keep buying, pivoting, and buying something else, you'll probably be left with a lot of unused art supplies. It is just money sitting in art boxes going bad. This brings up the concept that I heard many years ago. We often feel like when we buy or own or possess a thing, it makes us better in a variety of ways. It gives us energy, power, options. But there's another side to this, that is, your possessions extract energy from you. Everything you own has a cost, not just the cost of buying it, but the cost that's required to care, maintain, or just the toll of mental thought worrying about it. Is my paint drying up? Did I clean my expensive brush well enough? Did I waste my money on that pen set that I'm not using? Should I be using that canvas right now instead of doing the sketchbook? The more possessions, the more impact these things have on you. So finding the balance of what you need can be part of the way to ensure that art is a positive part of your life. One of the things I found about myself and other artists is that we love new, bright, shiny toys, and we're always looking for the thing that is going to make us a better artist. The problem with having a lot of tools, materials, distractions around you is it might make it hard to get the real work done. Follow through with that project, completing that body of work, working that piece through that ugly stage. All these things require focus and discipline. And this might be harder if that newly purchased 72 color polychroma set is calling out to you. If you cave to the desire, you may never finish that masterpiece. Another less is more concept that might make sense to you is that I believe a good or great tool or supply are better than a bunch of cheap ones. You are always going to get more value from a better product. This is a much larger topic that I intend to get into in another video, but I always recommend buying the best art supplies that you can comfortably afford. Keyword is comfortably. This does not mean go out and buy the best or the high-end pro products and everything, but don't cheap out on your art supplies either. Cheap art supplies usually don't perform, lead to bad experience, and often cause people to quit art or that art because they think they just can't do it or get discouraged. Also, a lesser known truth is that cheaper art supplies don't go as far. You will need more of them to do the same thing, diminishing much of the value that you think you're getting from them. Better product, better experience, better performance, better art. Usually, using your money to buy quality over quantity is almost always the right move. But remember, the law of diminishing returns applies to art supplies too. True confession. As you've probably figured out, I love to get new tools and supplies and play with them, experiment, and make art with them. I know this sounds like a contradiction to what I'm trying to tell you, but remember that word balance. A point I'm kind of trying to work out by making this video. I would never advocate not playing, experimenting, and learning, although you have to devote the time to working and making. But there's also another truth that you might consider when you're looking at that new brush, medium, or fill in the blank. I have always found that the value of learning and mastering a tool will make you better with that tool than with a newer, better product. Familiarity and mastery will usually outperform a superior product. So, getting a good quality set of tools and materials and mastering them will make you a better artist than one that is always searching for the bigger, better, newer thing. By mastering a set of tools, you will also have more knowledge about what you need from those tools. So when you decide to upgrade to a better tool, you'll know how to take advantage of the superpower. Most of the best artists that I know have long since chosen their tools, mediums, supplies, techniques, and even studio space, and have worked with them for years. This is the thing that allows them to make their masterpieces. When I look at some of these accomplished artists, I have found that they're not always using the best of the best, the newest, or the most popular thing. They're using what they learned and mastered and using them to make amazing work. As you grow as an artist, it might make sense to start eliminating things that are not helping you get to your goals. If you're trying to be a master oil painter, maybe it's time to get rid of that set of alcohol inks or that fancy set of sumi brushes. I know, it's really hard to let go of those amazing tools, but too many distractions, too much energy sucked from your ability to focus, work, and make great art might be the cost. Only you can make that choice. The lesson of this video is balance. It is one of my mantra words. I feel like it applies to so many of the challenges I encounter in life. Balance is not always easy, and it takes regular work to rebalance. For many of us, there is much joy in playing, testing, experimenting, and often with new products. But don't lose the point of all of this. It is to make art. I've seen far too many people fall into the collector's trap by continuing to buy more and more art supplies and not getting the value from them. And yes, I'm probably one of those people to some degree, but to learn from what I'm saying and not what I do. I'm a big fan of YouTube. But one of its big pitfalls, it will always have you lusting after that new thing. If you want to be a good artist, it will be important to learn the discipline to not get sucked into all the hype of each new shiny art supply. There is without a doubt new tools and supplies that might be just the thing to help you improve your art. But always keep in mind, the best thing to improve your art will be to improve your craft. That is just a matter of spending the time to master the tools and materials you already have. And I will apologize in advance as I tempt you with those new bright shiny art materials in future videos. It's kind of my job. So look, find the balance of your tools, supplies, and craft. Realize that you will make better work from tools that you master than just about anything else, and mastery takes time. Okay, hey, if you have any thoughts on this subject, please leave them in the comments below. Help out another artist. If you found this video helpful, please give me a like, a subscribe. It's free to you, and it's really helpful for the channel. If you like this video and you want to see more We Talk Art content, I will put 2 other videos up here on the screen that you can click on and watch right now. If not, go make some art with what you have.